Hi friends, my name is Nadeya. Welcome to the 3S Yoga YouTube channel. I'm so happy that you found us. Today we're going to be working on some hip flexor stuff because I have some hip flexor issues. So if you have it too, welcome to my world and I'm excited to work with you. If you like our videos, we'd love if you subscribe. Please share it with as many people as you want. And if for some reason you have the finances and want to donate, you can go into the description below. We have a Venmo, yoga-3s, and we also have 3syoga.com that'll give you more details. Okay, so let's get started. Let's just start out in a tabletop position today. Oh, and we're at the VMFA, which is the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, so I hope you enjoy this today. I need it to get out of my backyard. Make sure that you're pressing into the index finger and the thumb and not just the pinky side of the hands. And we're just going to start with a little bit of a moving meditation, which is going to be cat-cow, breathing in and out with the movements, connecting the body and the breath. So drop the belly, lift the tailbone up, lift up through the head. The first time we'll explain in more depth. Let the inside of the elbows roll forward as the triceps wrap back. And then as you move into cat, you're going to drop the tailbone, let the head move down, press into the hands so you can feel the shoulder blades separate and get a nice stretch there. Now we're going to take a full inhale as we move into cow and a full exhale to move into cat, even if that means finding stillness. So inhale, drop the belly, look up, wrap the triceps back, and exhale, tailbone and head drop. Finding your own pace to turn it into a moving meditation, connecting the breath with the body. Option for nasal breathing, breathing in and out of the nose to make a sound similar to the ocean. And then go ahead and find a little bit more freedom in the movement if that feels nice, or continue what we were already doing, whatever feels good. Letting the hips sway. You can move them back and forth. You can let the torso roll around. Just have some fun exploring your body. And then let's meet up back in a neutral tabletop position. You're going to extend the right leg behind you and then cross it over towards the left. And then you're going to put the foot on the ground and glance over towards the left foot. I want your left shoulder to move towards the left hip to get a rainbow shape on the right side of the body. Breathing in and out of the nose and check in with your jaw. Try to relax it. Let go of the extra tension in the body. Really try to let the right hip pop out a little bit. And then coming back through the center, you're going to step the right foot in between the hands and bring the hands up onto the right thigh. So your back knee is about at a 90-degree angle. And you're going to press into the right thigh as your right hip pulls away from the leg, letting the left hip roll towards the right knee. And then gently let the pubic bone press forward to lengthen the tailbone down. And you should start to get a nice stretch in the left hip flexor. You can move your head around a little bit if you'd like, loosening up the neck. If you need some help with balance, you can press into the right foot, or you can even scooch the right foot a little bit more out towards the right to give you a wider base. And then take the left hand forward, and as it pulls forward, the left hip moves with it. And again, let the belly pull in to lengthen the tailbone down. And lift up through the left arm if it's available to you. Take the right hand to meet the left wrist and exhale as you twist over towards the right, just making a rainbow shape in the left side of the body. The tailbone is still tucking, the belly is still pulling in towards the spine, and the left hip is still rolling forward. We're still getting into the hip flexor, the psoas, maybe a little into the quad depending on your body. Beautiful work. Inhaling back towards the center, release the hands down to the mat. You're going to take the right knee back to meet the left knee, back into a tabletop position. Take a couple cat-cows, dropping the belly as you inhale and glance up, triceps wrap back. Exhale, moving into cat, pressing into the hands, letting the shoulder blades separate. Inhaling to look up and exhaling to roll back. Coming back to neutral, extend the left leg behind you and then cross it over towards the right. And you're going to glance over towards the right foot, letting the right shoulder move towards the right hip, trying to let the left hip pop out a little to the side as you get a rainbow shape in the left side of the body. Relax the jaw and breathe in and out of the nose. And make your way back towards the center, and you're going to step the left foot in between the hands, coming up onto the left thigh. Pressing into the hands so you can create a little bit of space between the left thigh and the left hip as the right hip moves towards the left knee. Pressing into the left foot to have a nice strong base. Let the belly pull in as the pelvis scoops forward, and there is your right hip flexor. Relaxing the shoulders, option to move the neck around if you'd like. It feels good. Thank the good Lord for yoga. And then bringing the head to neutral, let the right arm pull forward. Your right hip is still moving forward. The tailbone is still trying to tuck down to point towards the right knee. And then if it's available or if you want to, let the right arm lift up. The left hand takes the right wrist, and exhale as you roll over towards the left side. Again, try not to let the butt pop back. The tailbone is tucking down and the right hip is moving forward. You're going to hear me obviously say that a lot today because that's how we really focus on getting into the hip flexor. To get a little deeper, you can take the right arm back and then roll a little more towards the left. Coming back towards the center, releasing the hands down, stepping the left knee back to meet the right, taking 2 cat-cows, dropping the belly, inhale, glance up, press into the hands, and exhale, rolling into cat, feeling the shoulder blades get a nice separation, coming back towards the center. Let's walk the hands about 6 inches forward. We're making our way towards down dog. Bringing the feet hip width apart, pressing into every single knuckle, including the index finger, the thumb, and the space between them. And then let the triceps wrap back so it's like the elbows are trying to point forward, opening up the scapula. Getting a little opening in the hamstrings by letting the heels press down and the hips pull back. Relaxing the jaw. Let the top of the head lengthen towards the thumbs. Come all the way up onto the tiptoes and then walk the toes all the way up, little itty bitty steps up to the top of the mat. Bend your knees, let the torso rest on the thighs. Grab the elbows and let the head dangle like it's just hanging from a piece of string. The weight's currently in the heels and you can sway yourself side to side. Just let the elbows be heavy the whole time. Let the chin move towards the chest. And then release the hands down. Start to shift the weight towards the balls of the feet, and you can start to straighten the legs if that's available today. And then glance between the knees. Slowing the breath. Connecting with the body. Opening the back side of the body. Bringing a little bend into the knees, and we're going to roll up, starting from the bottom vertebrae, trying to stack each one on top of the one before it, making the way up. Shoulders back, head lifts. Coming into Tadasana, your toes are going to be hip width together and your heels are apart just a little bit. If you have issues with your low back, bring your feet hip width apart or whichever one is more comfortable and you prefer. Press down into the feet and don't lock the knees. Just give a tiny little bend so you can feel the blood flowing in between the knees is how I think about it instead of locking it out. Let the inner thighs roll back and tuck the tailbone down. So instead of the booty sticking back, you're tucking it down as the belly pulls in, opening up the low back. Palms are shining forward, shoulders relax down. Keep the shoulders moving down as you inhale, lift the hands up to the sky and take the right hand to the left wrist again, and you're going to pull it over towards the right. To get a little bit deeper, you're going to take the left arm behind the ear and press equally into both feet. As you inhale, lengthen up through the chest, and as you exhale, go a little bit deeper, getting into the whole side stretch of the left side of the body. Let the left hip try to poke a little bit forward, which will actually bring it towards neutral. Come back up through center, release the hands down, press into the right foot, and you're going to bend the left foot, the left knee, to bring the foot towards the glute. If you have a wall or a chair and you need something to balance on, that's cool. Bring the knees together, pull the belly in, so it's like moving back, and then let the pubic bone press forward as the tailbone lengthens down. The left hip is moving gently forward as the left thigh presses gently back. You feel that in the quad up into the psoas. You have two options here. The first one is just to leave the left hand where it is and reach up with the right hand, or keep it by the side. The second option is to take the left foot with the right hand and reach up with the left hand. So if you're doing this option and you reach the side, make sure you have a little bend in the standing knee. I'm just going to keep my hand at my hip so I can really focus on the tailbone lengthening down as the quad presses back. And then I'm going to kind of lean over towards the right. The left hip is pressing forward. The left thigh is pressing back. And slowly release it. You're going to step the left foot back and then bring the left knee down. This time the knee will be a little bit further back, like you're in a low lunge, and take the hands to the right thigh. We're going to do some pulsing forward. So first come forward and let the left hip drop down towards the right foot, and then start to pulse a few times. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then turn the right foot out to about a 45-degree angle and take a few more pulses forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go back to the forward. 1, 2, 3. Should really be opening up the left hip flexor. 5. And then taking the right foot out to an angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then let the right foot face forward. Take the left hand down to the floor on the inside of the right foot and reach up with the right hand. Let the belly pull in as the right thigh pulls towards the belly to keep the knee over the ankle, and let the left hip drop down. Pressing into the left hand to reach up with the right. You're doing great. Relaxing the jaw, slowing the breath. And then release the right hand down towards the mat and gently pull the hips back so you can straighten out the front leg, getting into the hamstring, because who cares if the front of your body's open if the back isn't, right? Pointing the toes towards the face and then point them away from you, and playing with that and seeing how the muscle feels when it's moving. To get deeper, we're working on a flat back, so you might even walk your hands back so you can pull the chest forward. Awesome. Now shift the weight back forward, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and then walk it up to meet the front foot. Forward fold. Let the hips sway a little. And then slowly roll all the way up to standing. Awesome work. Now you're going to take the right foot and pull it up towards the glute. And I'm going to take my left hand to my left hip. Try to bring the knees towards each other. And then let the pubic bone press forward. The right hip is pressing forward, but the right thigh is pulling back. Lifting up through the chest. And again, you have the option to take the left hand towards the right foot. That way you would reach up and lengthen to the side. I am going to keep my hands on the hips, and I lied, you actually go to, nope, you go to this side. And lengthen to the opposite side of the knee that's bent. Try to keep the hip moving forward and gently press the thigh back. Coming back towards the center, slowly release the foot and step the right foot back so you're in a longer low lunge. Bring the knee down, untuck the foot, and then bring the hands to the left thigh. The right hip is dropping down towards the left ankle, and then you're going to start to pulse forward. You're letting the knee move forward past the ankle, which we don't do a ton in yoga, but this is just a different opening. Moving the foot out towards an angle, taking 5 more pulses. Bringing it back towards the center. And then back at an angle. And then just bring the foot back towards the center, taking the right hand down to the inside of the left foot, and you're going to reach up with the left hand. So the belly pulls in so the chest can pull forward, and then the left inner thigh can move in towards the belly. And then you're pressing into the right hand so you can actually lift out of the right shoulder as you glance up to the sky, and then let the right hip drop down. Good times, right? Hello, hip flexors. Bringing the hand down, shifting the torso back to neutral, walking the hands back to straighten out the front leg. Your hands are still down on the ground. We're going to be playing with the left hamstring, so start to point and slowly flex the front foot, remembering the deeper that you'll get, even if you're lifting up, the spine might be straighter to get deeper. And then shift the weight back forward to tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee, and this time you're going to step back to downward facing dog. Pedal out the knees, so let the left heel press down as the right knee bends, and then switch sides. Let the hips sway and move on each side. Just a little exploration. And then find some stillness. Let the right leg lift up and back, pulling the heel away from you. Let the left heel press down as the left thigh pulls back. Drop the right hip down a little bit to keep the hips neutral, imagining the left hip is lifting. Now you're going to shift the weight forward so the shoulders move over the wrists and step the right foot between the hands. If it doesn't get there, just grab the ankle and help assist it forward. You're going to inhale up into crescent pose. If this is too much and you're not up for it, it's okay to drop the knee down. We're pressing into the right foot. We're imagining the right hip pulling away from the right thigh as the left hip moves forward, and then the tailbone lengthens down. A bend in the back knee can help the low back stay open and still get into the hip flexor psoas muscles. But you can play with the straightness of the leg if you like. Relaxing the jaw, trying to keep the front knee over the ankle. Bringing the hands into a prayer. You're really nice and slowly going to bring the back knee down and untuck the back toes. And we're going to move into a twist. So you're still letting the left hip drop down, bringing the left elbow to the outside of the right knee into a twist. So just like before, we're pulling the belly in to lift the chest forward and let the left knee come over the ankle. Try to stack the elbows on top of each other. And then release the hands down, nice and slow. It's an awkward transition. And then walk the right foot out towards the right to bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. Tuck the back toes under and lift up the back knee. So the left hip is feeling like it's dropping down a little bit, but the left thigh is pressing up and the heel is pressing back. The chest is gently moving forward through the frame of the arms. and slowly rock forward and back. Great, now we're gonna make our way back to down dog. So take the right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up and back. Let the left heel pull back as the right heel presses down. Let the right thigh press back towards the right hamstring. And then shift the weight forward as the knee moves towards the face, stepping the foot between the hands and inhaling up into crescent pose. Little bend in the right knee will help as you get the right alignment, letting the right hip pull away from the left femur as the right hip rolls towards the left knee, and the pelvis does the scoop shape, so the belly pulls back as the tailbone lengthens down and the upper hip points roll towards the ribs. And then you can play with the straightness of the back leg. But as soon as you feel the butt pop back, you've probably gone too far. And again, just remember, it's not about how straight the back leg is. Right now we're focusing on the hip flexor psoas area. Slowly bending the back knee to bring it down to the ground. Bringing the hands into a prayer. You're going to untuck the back foot and you're going to take the left elbow to the outside of the right thigh into a twist. Belly pulls in, chest pulls forward. Try to keep the knee over the ankle as the elbows stack. The right hip drops down and let it kind of release down towards the mat, relaxing the quad. You can glance up if it hurts your neck or brings any discomfort. Just look forward or down. We're not looking for discomfort. We're looking for comfort. Nice and slowly press into the left foot to bring the hands back to the center, bringing them down to the ground, moving the left foot out to the left so the hands can be inside of the left foot, tucking the back toes under, lift the back knee up. The right hip is dropping down a little bit, but the right thigh is pressing up. The heel is pressing back, and the chest is pulling forward. Relaxing the jaw, and keeping the right thigh pressing up, you can slowly rock forward and back. And then press into the hands. We're going to make our way back to down dog, so it might take you a step or two to get there. Whatever works for you today is cool. Let the hips sway side to side, but let them pull back as they go through the center, making a little crescent shape. And then drop the knees down to the mat. So the toes together, knees nice and wide. Walk the hands forward, let the head rest down. Let the belly sway a little bit and the hips sway a little bit side to side to open up the hip creases. And then let the belly drop down a little bit further as the head rests down. Okay, I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's make our way up into all fours. We're going to take a couple cat-cows, dropping the belly as you inhale, glancing up, tailbone lifts, triceps wrap back. Letting the tailbone drop down as you exhale, press into the hands as the shoulder blades separate and the head drops. One more. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Coming back to neutral, walk the hands a little bit forward, moving into down dog. Let the left leg lift up and pull back, getting a little stretch in the right hamstring. And then shifting the weight forward, stepping the foot between the hands and inhaling up into crescent. We're going to be taking twisted crescent, so if you want, feel free to bring the knee down again if it feels like it might be intense for you today. Again, we're letting the left hip pull back as the right hip moves forward, tailbone tucks down, upper hip points lift towards the ribs. Bringing the hands towards a prayer. We're going to take a twist towards the left, so take the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. Stack the elbows on top of each other. And as the right hip drops down, I want the left thigh to press up. The chest pulls forward. And then press into the left foot to slowly untwist, inhaling back up into crescent, and then releasing the hands down. Moving the left foot out towards the left again, so both hands are the inside. And you're gonna bring the back knee down and untuck the back toes. Scooch the back knee back a scooch or two, so you're more in the front of the thigh instead of the knee. And then if you can, lower down into lizard, coming down onto the forearms, that's cool. And if you can't, just stay up on your hands. I like to stay up on my hands. Sometimes I even come up onto my fists if my wrists are sore. What we're doing here is we're letting the right hip drop down and try to relax the right quad. Relaxing the jaw. And then if you're not up on the hands, go ahead and meet us up on the hands. And then you're going to let the right foot move towards the glute, and then you're going to take the left arm around to grab the right foot if that's available. The left thigh is okay to open up a little bit here. Drop the right hip down and let the left shoulder pull forward, and letting the right hip drop. And lift up through the chest. And then really slowly, nice and slow, let the back foot release. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee, and step back into downward facing dog. Do any of your favorite things here. This time we take the top of the right foot and turn it over so the front of the toes go on the floor, and get an ankle stretch on the right foot. And then switch the I guess it is the wrist of the foot. And then come back into down dog. Let the right leg lift up and back. You're going to shift forward, bring the foot inside the hands, and inhale up into crescent. Remember, it's okay to put the back knee down. Let the right hip move back from the right thigh, keeping the knee over the ankle as the left hip moves forward, and then the pelvis scoops forward. Bringing the hands to a prayer, you're going to take the left elbow towards the outside of the right thigh. Press into the hands as you stack the elbows. As the belly pulls in, the chest pulls forward, and as the left hip drops down, the left thigh presses up. Relax the jaw. Slow your breath. Press into the front foot to slowly help you come out back to your regular crescent pose. And then release the hands down. Moving the right foot out to the right to bring both hands to the inside of the right foot, and drop the back knee down and untuck the foot. Scooch the back knee back about a scooch or two. And even if you didn't come onto your forearms on the other side, you can play with it on this side. Again, I like to stay high because I have tight hip flexors as it is. Sometimes I even come up onto my wrists, onto my fists, as I told you already. You're like, I know, lady. Let the left hip drop down and try to relax the left quad. And pull the chest forward a little bit to get deeper into the hip flexor. Slow the breath. And if you're not up on the hands, go ahead and meet us there now. And slowly, if you want it, take the left foot towards the glute, and the right hand reaches back around to it. And then the right shoulder pulls forward. Let the chest lift up as the tailbone pretends like it's pointing down towards the left knee. And the left hip gets heavy. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of little tiny movements. But you're doing a really great job. And then slowly release the foot, tucking the toes under, lifting the knee up. Bring the right foot towards the center so you can step forward back into a forward fold. Bend the knees this time. Let yourself take a ragdoll. Beautiful work. Releasing the hands to slowly roll all the way back up to a standing position. Bringing the weight over towards the right foot, letting the left knee move towards the butt again to grab on to the left ankle. Option to take it with both hands if you want. Tailbone lengthens down. As the left hip stays moving forward, to keep neutral, the left thigh pulls gently back. And if you want, you can bring a little bit of a bend into the right knee. And this time, keeping the tailbone pointing towards the left knee, you can start to rock forward a little bit. Just for a little bit of fun, find a nice little place of balance. And keep the left hip dropping down so it actually is staying neutral. And then let the foot pull up a little bit and back. Left hip dropping, lifting up through the chest. Tailbone lengthening down to elongate the low back. And now you're going to press into the right foot to make your way back up to standing and lift the left knee up towards the chest to squeeze it in. If your right leg isn't burning too much, you can take the right hand around the left shin and lengthen the left arm back behind you for a little twist. Inhaling to lift through the chest and exhale to look behind you. You can always straighten the front leg out and grab the knee, but that's not my day today. And now I'm laughing and can't stand. And slowly make your way back towards the center. Inhale to lift up. And exhale, forward fold, letting the hips glide forward as the weight shifts forward towards the balls of the feet. Slowly rolling all the way up to a standing position. And we get to do that on the other side. So bring the weight into the left foot, and you're going to grab on to the right ankle. Try to keep the knees towards each other, and if you can, the left hand can meet it. If not, you can just stay and chill out here and still do the same movement. And I'm on the grass, so it's going to take me a little second to find a space to balance on. Okay, knees moving together. The right hip moves gently forward, and the right thigh is pressing a little bit back. Lifting up through the chest, let the tailbone point down towards the right knee, and slowly start to just hinge forward on the left leg, keeping a little bend in the left knee. And let the leg pull back as you open up through the chest. Let yourself smile at your strength and at your hip flexor. Pressing into the left foot, slowly making your way back to center, releasing the foot to pull the knee up towards the chest and hug it in. And if this side allows you to, taking the left hand around the right shin and lengthening the right arm back behind you. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. Sometimes the calf that's standing is burning, and sometimes you fall over. That's why it's called a practice. And slowly lower it down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to forward fold. And then place the hands down, coming back into a tabletop position. Lengthen the right leg behind you, stretch it over towards the left, and take your left shoulder towards the right hip. The left shoulder towards the left hip, getting a rainbow shape on the right side of the body. Trying to let the right hip pop out towards the right. Let the right hip drop down a little bit. Making the way back to center. Lengthening the left leg behind you and over towards the right. Right shoulder moves towards the right hip. Left hip drops down a little bit. Left hip pops out a little bit more. And make the way back to neutral, coming into a seated position. Just lifting up through the chest. Check in with your inner hip creases, hip flexors, psoas, and the quads. Hopefully seating right now feels better than it did earlier today. A little bit more easy and more comfortable. Close the eyes for a moment, lifting up through the chest. Relaxing the thighs and the quads and the inner thighs and the glutes. Creating some space between the back teeth, relaxing the jaw. Bringing your hands into a prayer. To your forehead for the right thoughts. To your mouth for the right words. And your heart for the right actions. Thank you all for letting me lead you in your practice today. You did a beautiful job, and it was my pleasure to be here. Namaste. Don't forget, please subscribe if you love this video. Please share it with your friends, and if you'd like to donate, go to the description for more information. Have a great day.